All right, y'all. So for the past couple of days, I've been seeing something about this man Marcel Williams, the dude who's on death row, who was supposed to be innocent from some new type of DNA evidence that they found, and even the family was saying that Buddy was innocent. But I think it was the state of Missouri. Let me see. Yeah, it don't tell me down there, but it was some state that started with an M. I'm pretty sure. They refused to overturn his conviction. So me, I'm just curious about what Buddy did, where he was from. I'm just curious about the whole situation. So I found the video, and I really just want to learn who Buddy is.
I'm sorry. Not only were you shortchanged in your life, you were shortchanged in your defense.
The state of Arkansas is gonna kill 8 men in 10 days because their drugs was gonna run out.
Burning, paralyzed, unable to breathe.
Midazolam has a history of not working.
Society has everyone believing that the ultimate justice you can get is death.
We all have not sinned in our lives. Then you must be God.
You should only be sentenced to death if you're of the very highest level of culpability. Marcel Williams really didn't have a chance to be a normal adult.
I know why you want to talk to me already. Alex went all over the news. Where's she at?
Stacy was the life of the party. She liked to have fun. She loved the kids. We started just driving around to see if we could see anything of her. Well, I saw her truck right behind a service station. There was a lot of receipts from ATMs in it.
We were able to obtain some photographs from the ATM, the automatic teller machines. The pictures show her and a black male driver of the vehicle.
I'll explain what happened, okay? By the time I had almost $400. I know there's 2 people I can always call that's down for the dope thing. And that's right ringing North Point. What'd you take? This place they call a hole in the wall. God. They had her down there and they started snapping, beating on this chick out here in the middle of nowhere.
We felt like he was living through what had happened, putting someone else's name in his place.
I don't know about North Point. I don't know about Ray Ray. But I know you. Did you have sex with her?
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
That was a definite yes, Marcel. Come on now. Call him if you get, give her up.
On December 5th, 2 North Little Rock officers searching the area finally found the shallow grave. Marcel Williams was found guilty of kidnapping, rape, and murder, which he received the death penalty for.
Marcel Williams lived in extreme poverty. This place was like a war zone. He never knew his father. He would be made to strip, and his mother would beat him up and down his body until he was bleeding. He went to prison before he finished high school. He was raped by a group of men. He was sentenced to death by a jury who knew it.
God. So you getting jumped, beat, cheeks got took, all this shit, and you wasn't even supposed to be in prison, bro. Alright, you know what, I already paused the video. I'm gonna backtrack.
What had.
What does he mean?
I don't know about North Point.
But what does Buddy mean? Like, you ain't even letting the man talk, so in your head, you already got to prove that Buddy guilty. But go on. Hold on. Y'all gonna see what?
I don't know about Ray Ray. But I know you.
But I know you. I really want to pause it right here. Like, Buddy, he already got it in his head that he guilty. The man trying to tell you what's going down. He ain't doing nothing but just pointing the blame at him. But anyway, let's.
Finished high school, he was raped by a group of men. He was sentenced to death by a jury who knew absolutely nothing about him other than the facts and circumstances of his crime. While he may deserve to spend the rest of his life in prison, and he acknowledges that, he does not deserve to die. Marcel abducted, raped a young lady named Dina Cronin. She escaped. She's here today, and she's going to address the board.
Good morning. It makes no sense to me to kill another human being willfully. We all have not sinned in our lives. Then you must be God. I forgive you, Mr. Close.
Because we're on this schedule, everything's rushed, simply for the state's convenience.
I wish I could take it back, but I can't. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. Not only were you shortchanged in your life, you were shortchanged in your defense. I'd give anything if I had another chance to protect you.
A lethal injection was administered at 10:16 p.m. and the coroner has pronounced Marcel Wayne Williams dead at 10:33 p.m., carrying out the sentence of the circuit court.
Y'all gonna be so mad. This is the wrong damn person. Alright. I'm not gonna edit this out. How long is this video? How long is this video? It won't show me. 7 minutes. What? That's 7 minutes of y'all life y'all not gonna get back.
1998, Felicia Gale, a former St. Louis Post-Dispatch reporter, was brutally murdered in her own home in the University City suburb of St. Louis, Missouri. Gale was stabbed between 10 and 43 times with a butcher knife taken from her kitchen. The scene was nothing short of a bloodbath, and the crime shook the community to its core. Felicia Gale was not only a journalist, but a philanthropist and volunteer. She lived with her husband, Dr. Daniel Pikus, in their secure, gated community. That security, however, wasn't enough to prevent the tragedy that would change their lives forever. The initial investigation yielded an abundance of forensic evidence, including fingerprints, footprints, hair, and DNA traces on the knife. Despite this, it wasn't until a reward was offered that two informants, Henry Cole and Lara Asaro, implicated Marcellus Williams. Both informants had prior convictions and stood to gain from their testimonies. Cole claimed he heard Williams confess while they were in jail together, and Asaro, Williams' former girlfriend, said she found evidence in Williams' car. Their accounts played a crucial role in his conviction, despite their
Buddy just trying to find any way to get less time and old girl man, cause he will probably cheat on her.
Inconsistencies and the informant's questionable credibility. In 2001, Williams was convicted of Gale's murder by a predominantly white jury and sentenced to death. He has always maintained his innocence. Over the years, appeals have highlighted significant issues with the case, including DNA evidence from the knife that did not match Williams, but rather revealed an unknown male profile. Despite this, the Missouri Supreme Court did not halt the execution. In 2017, just hours before he was set to be executed, then Governor Eric Greitens issued a stay of execution, initiating a board of inquiry to examine the new DNA evidence. The board's findings indicated that Williams was not the source of the DNA found on the murder weapon. Fast forward to 2023, Governor Mike Parson dissolved the board without its final report and lifted the stay, paving the way for a new execution date. Prosecuting attorney Wesley Bell filed a motion to vacate Williams's conviction, citing the new DNA evidence and potential bias during the original trial. However, Attorney General Andrew Bailey pushed back, and the Missouri Supreme Court set September 24, 2024 as the execution date. On August 21, 2024, Williams accepted an offered plea offered by the prosecution to commute his death sentence to life imprisonment without parole. This move, though controversial, highlights the immense pressure and complexity surrounding this case. The Missouri Supreme Court blocked the plea deal, keeping the execution on track while scheduling a hearing to reconsider Williams's innocence. Marcellus Williams's impending execution raises crucial questions about the judicial system, the handling of forensic evidence, and the reliability of incentivized witness testimonies. These issues echo in the broader context of racial disparities in capital punishment, evidenced by Williams, a black man, receiving a death sentence for the murder of a white woman by an almost all-white jury. As of now, the fight for justice continues as lawyers and supporters rally to halt the execution. The Innocence Project and other advocacy groups argue that DNA evidence proves Williams's innocence, urging the public to take action through petitions and social media campaigns. Felicia Gale's murder remains a heartbreaking tragedy, and the subsequent legal turmoil surrounding Marcellus Williams underscores the
Hold on. All right, here we go.
And now her, who supposedly wants to recant but never officially did.
Go ahead, take the recorder out. Let's do this. Let's do it. Don't like that. Give me my. No, Mama. Let me do it.
Okay, so what was she referring to? Let me do it. Let me do it.
Well, the beginning of that phone call, when I answered the phone when she called, I didn't know who it was, so I was trying to get to my recorder. That's why you heard her say, yes, get your recorder, let's do this. Because the initial part of that phone call said, at that time my name was Smith. Miss Smith, is it too late? Is it too late? Is he dead? Did they kill him already? Is he dead yet? I got something I want to say. And so at that point I said, can I record you? And she said, yes, get your recorder, let's do this. So I can, from what she said, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So the question becomes, and thank you for telling us about it, Allison, obviously in reading through the rulings, that's not good enough. The court and the governor both say, no, we don't know that she didn't do it, and it's not competent evidence, and we've done enough of this. What do you feel about that reckoning?
I feel that that is exactly reflective of what's wrong with our justice system today. Why are they in a rush to execute somebody? There's so much evidence pointing towards his innocence that just literally pushing the execution back 3 weeks to hear this new evidence, once he's gone, you can't bring him back. Why not just delay the execution and hear all these points?
They say 15 times he's tried to do this, and that this, both of these people, the man who's now deceased.
This man tried 15 times to tell you I thought he was innocent.
Who is one of the prison informants who supposedly wanted to recant but never did, and now her, who supposedly wants to recant but never officially did, they say that's not enough.
Well, hearsay does count in the state of Missouri. It actually freed Kevin Strickland last year. Latara, if you want to elaborate on that.
Well, yes, I do know that Kevin Strickland, there were witnesses in his case, and, they were allowed to say what the witness in Kevin Strickland said. So I'm not understanding. And I don't think this has never been presented to the court. So let me clear this up. But I don't understand why come is something that the courts would not consider. Because it most definitely, you could tell she was most definitely getting ready to say something that was against her self-interest. And that is exactly how the state of Missouri, how they were able to answer and do what they did in Kevin Strickland's case.
All right, so one last question. Allison.
Sue the whole state of Missouri, become a billionaire, move to Calabasas.
Yes.
And how terrible is this, that we're having this conversation, and literally this man may be gone tomorrow? And
it's
we
2024.
May not know what the truth of it is. I mean, what a crazy time.
It is a modern day
Allison,
lynching. Yeah.
Well, look, I understand your perspective on it. The counter is, well, but we have a system, and there's been so much due process here that he's had more than enough.
If there's been so much due process, and y'all still couldn't say that this man was guilty, 100%, without a doubt, why did y'all just knock him off anyway? Might not be like, damn, hold on. So the DNA on a knife and all over the place, it wasn't his? oh, he got to get up out of here. Get him gone. I mean, he's still with a sewer job, but still, at least he'd be alive to do it.
Enough time for this, but what does it mean to you that, like, how do you deal with this, that tomorrow he's going to be gone?
Not good. We went through this a few years ago, and I'm praying we have the same outcome at the 25th hour. We got the stay of execution, and I'm really holding strong that we're going to again. I mean, there's so many things, and I know we don't have time, but like the knife was contaminated by the state. Like, right for that reason, there should be a mistrial or a retrial. They literally contaminated the evidence, the state of Missouri, that could have exonerated him. How is that fair that he's punished for their own people ruining the investigation?
What does it mean that the Innocence Project, so the Innocence Project has picked up the representation, everybody knows who they are, and they are not advancing this argument that this caller was going to recant. Why not?
I personally believe, and I'm a huge fan of the Innocence Project, they do great work. I know they really focus on DNA, and they have presented the DNA, and they have presented that there were a handful of fingerprints on the knife, and that none matched Marcellus. There were also bloody footsteps leaving the scene that weren't Marcellus Williams' shoe size. So I can't speak on their behalf. I knew they do great work, and I'm huge fans of theirs.
Right.
But, you know, I think there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and I think everyone's trying to do what they can.
That could be it. But though, to be fair, the DNA stuff was chewed on pretty well multiple times over in review at the trial and appellate level, was found lacking. But we will be watching this. We'll see what happens with it. I wanted to give it attention tonight, Allison, because I believe in what you're doing. And Latara, I appreciate you telling people what you know and understand. They should have eyes on our system. So thank you for coming and taking the opportunity. I wish we could have done more. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to
Shut up.
I'm Karen Poachman, spokesperson for the Missouri Department of Corrections. In a few minutes, I'll brief you on the events of the last couple of hours, but first, Missouri Department of Corrections Director Trevor Foley will read a brief statement from Governor Mike Parson. Director Foley.
She look like her name, Peggy. She look like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Marcellus Williams was
Mr. Clean. All right, I'm done.
executed for the 1998 murder of Felicia Gale on Tuesday, September 24th, 2024, at Eastern Reception and Diagnostic Correctional Center in Bonne Terre, Missouri. We hope this gives finality to a case that has languished for decades, re-victimizing Miss Gale's family over and over again. No juror nor judge has ever...
Even the family said stop. How are you re-victimizing them? They want disclosure just as much as you know what I'm saying, the next person. But fam, it's the reason we tweaking because Buddy innocent. Even the family said stop, don't kill him, but you killed them anyway. Goofy.
Never found William.
But you
family over and over again. No juror nor judge has ever...
But you see the regret in his eye. But look at him.
Ever found...
It's either regret or just stone cold killer. One of the two.
Found Williams' innocence claim to be credible. 2 decades of judicial proceedings and more than 15 judicial
I keep pausing the video. I'm sorry. This is just blowing me, bro.
Hearings upheld his guilty conviction. Thus, the order of execution has been carried out.
So the governor's statement has been provided to all of you, and there's also a statement that was issued yesterday in the form of
You be in your kitchen cooking potions.
A press release, which you should have. We don't have a statement from the victim's family, and we do have a statement from Marcellus Williams himself, which I believe I've sent to all of you. Let me know if you don't have it, and I'll make sure to give that to you. So I'll now read a brief chronology. At 4:50 p.m., the Department of Corrections received word that all petitions had been denied by the U.S. Supreme Court and that the department could begin with the execution sequence. At 5:40 p.m., the witnesses were moved into the viewing area. At 6 p.m., Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey notified the Department of Corrections that there were no legal impediments to the lawful execution of Marcellus Williams. At 6 p.m., Governor Mike Parson's office was asked whether there is any reason that the lawful execution of Marcellus Williams for the murder of Felicia Gale should not proceed. The answer was to proceed. At 6:01 p.m., the order was given to proceed with the lawful execution. At 6:01 p.m., the lethal injection of pentobarbital was administered. At 6:03 p.m., the 5-minute timer was set. At 6:10 p.m., Marcellus Williams was pronounced dead. There's an area here on the grounds of Eastern Reception Diagnostic and Correctional Center for demonstrators. Today, there were 94 demonstrators opposed to capital punishment and this execution. Marcellus Williams was 55 years old. He was born December 30th, 1968 in Logansport, Indiana. Williams was 29 years old at the time of the 1998 murder of Felicia Gale in St. Louis County. He was received in the Department of Corrections on January 31st, 2000. And a few of the last things that happened today, his final visit with his imam, Jalahi Qasim, took place from 11:01 a.m. to 12:32 p.m. His final meal was served at 10:53 p.m. It consisted of chicken wings and tater tots. There were 9 witnesses for the offender in attendance, including 3 members of the media. There were no witnesses here for the victims. And there were...
Because they said to stop, but you did it anyway. Goofy.
3 witnesses for the offender in attendance. So I'll take a few questions if you have them.
I got one. Why the hell didn't y'all stop? If the Alright. His family said stop. That's just common sense. His family would say that rather just say give him life. Here's my problem. Not only did the victim's family say stop, the prosecutor said stop. The man who originally was trying to push this man to death penalty, even she/ whatever, they said stop. But you kept going. That's my question. Why didn't y'all stop? If the prosecutor says to stop something, you know something off, bro. One way or another, this is gonna come back and it's gonna haunt them, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. This reminds me of that episode from the Boondocks. What's his name? Shabazz, when he was trying to break Shabazz out of prison, but he couldn't get a ride, so it just didn't work.
The witnesses for Marcellus were
Your lipstick ain't even.
And the 2 attorneys.
Yes.
You look like a well-dressed spot of mayonnaise. It's 2024. Who's still rocking bangs for real?
I don't have them with me, but I can give that to you later.
What happens to the body? Is it going to be cremated?
His body is going to be picked up by the Islamic Center of Greater St. Louis, and his attorney will be picking up his property. Anything else?
When did Williams get transferred from Potosi here?
Yesterday around 9 a.m. on Monday.
I love you. I love you.
Was there anyone with him during the execution?
Yes, his spiritual advisor was with him.
You said no witnesses for the victim were present and that the family did not provide any statement to
Correct.
be read. Okay. So that was a total of 15 witnesses then? 9 for 3 media, 3 for Mr. Williams?
The 3 for the media were included in the 9
You got that big ass nose and you can't smell. Why you keep crinkling your nose?
for the state.
Okay.
So 9 for the
I'm sorry. That's the last one.
state and 3 for Marcellus Williams.
Okay.
Anything else? All right. If you need anything else, let me know. You have my email and phone number, and I can get you whatever information you need. So thank you for coming.
How's one of your big teeth bigger than the other, bitch?
You guys want anything from us? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You up here?
Now get this dork off the mic, man. Dorks.
So I'm David Lieb with the Associated Press. I'm the correspondent in Jefferson City. So when the curtain was pulled back from the viewing room, Marcellus Williams looked like he was engaged in a conversation with his spiritual advisor. We can't hear what they're saying because it's soundproof. At one point, he appeared to wiggle his feet, which were underneath a white sheet that's pulled up to his neck, and moved his head slightly. Then I could see his chest heaved about a half dozen times. I didn't see any movement after that. And after a while, the spiritual advisor, continued to talk for a bit, eventually bowed his head. And there was no further movement going on.
I mean, that was pretty accurate of what happened. You guys have questions?
Were you at a room where you were able to see reactions of others in there, such as from his family or attorneys, or you guys kept separate?
So Dana Reek with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. So his son could be seen in the window across from us, as well as the two attorneys. He didn't appear to move very much, I don't think, and he just kind of just sat there, mostly stoic.
But they are in a separate room from you. You could not hear. Okay.
Anthony Morabith with MissouriNet.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop pausing the video.
Based in Jefferson City. The only thing I was going to add is with
Not here. Okay.
Anthony Morabith with MissouriNet, based in Jefferson City. The only thing I was going to add is, on top of what David said, Marcellus Williams did not appear to struggle at all.
And then did the curtain close at any point and then open again before they pronounced him dead? Yeah, their normal procedure is they close the curtain and they tell us that while it's closed, they're checking on them. When they reopen the curtain, the spiritual advisor is no longer in the room. It's left open for a little while, closed again, and then they pronounce his time of death. And who makes that pronouncement? One of the Department of Corrections people in the room. I don't know a name.
And are the people, who else was in the room along with the imam and Marcellus?
That's it, the two of them.
Just the two of them?
Yeah.
And so the line's remote, right? It goes into another room that they feed the drugs from?
Correct.
And so you can't see who's administering the drugs?
Correct.
It's intentionally designed that way. You're not supposed to see who administers the drugs. And they do that before the curtains on the inside of the rooms we are in, as well as the room they are in.
Right.
They administered that before those curtains open.
Yeah. And so it looks like the procedure had already started by the time the curtains opened and you started observing?
We don't know when the lethal injection starts to flow, but I don't believe they started before the curtains opened. Maybe Karen can answer that.
I have the time. I'm not a witness. I'm not part of the protocol. It's supposed person to be a witness. But the lethal injection was administered at 6:01 p.m.
Anything else remarkable about this situation?
Nothing else to add.
No. I don't think so.
One of those crowns I have here fell. I put some like kind of a.
Shut up. I'm gone, bro.
From a young nigga to a grown man, ball in my hands, I control it. Fuck all them other guys, he ain't one of mine. Get in my way, I run them over.